Hey guys, it's your girl Nandi Mahlobo and welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your very first time joining me, I'd like to say thank you for coming into my channel, and hopefully you are gonna press on that subscribe button so that you never miss anything that I post in future. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for the support. I love you guys, and I hope to actually do more of these. I'll make time. So I'd like to also apologize for not being able to meet up with my deadline due to a little glitches that I've had with my network last week. I was supposed to actually do this last week Friday, and I couldn't, so I promised to do it today, and by the looks of things, everything is working in my favor. Thank God for that. Okay, so today I'm still on the topic of cabin fever, of which that I'm going to explain what it is, and I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, have experienced some of its symptoms, right? So with the coronavirus pandemic outbreak, that is a global pandemic that we are all currently under, as the whole world is suffering from the virus, we all find ourselves having to feel stuck and feel like we are unable to live our best life as always. And we find that, we feel so much pressure from the unknown of what is going to come after this. And also we're finding that our businesses, as well as if we are studying, we are questioning what is going to happen after this. And then we find ourselves having anxiety, which sometimes turns into depression for some of us. And it is really, really hard. So if you are actually one of those people that has actually been feeling like you're pressured and you are finding yourself, you're a bit irritable, you are feeling like you are not coping with your day-to-day stuff that you can still do at home, then I am here to tell you that there's a high possibility that you are actually suffering from cabin fever, right? So cabin fever was a name or a word that was coined from countries where mostly they actually find themselves having snow and bad weather conditions. So they actually end up having to stay indoors for a certain number of days, and they cannot go anywhere, and then it was called the cabin fever. Okay, so as I proceed, I would like to say that, and I'll make everyone aware that we are all not the same, and we all have different coping mechanisms. And obviously, we all could go through the same thing in life, but our reactions to it will all depend on so many factors, like such as, obviously, it will do with how our personalities are, and also our temperaments, and also it will also depend on where we find ourselves in life. Are we on were we stable prior to this pandemic, or we were on a shaky grounds, or we are actually on the edge? So obviously, depending on where you were in your life prior to this pandemic, it will actually affect you the same when you feel isolated and you feel like you cannot do anything. A lot of people have been using this phrase of being stuck at home. I personally do not believe that's a good phrase to use, because we aren't stuck at home. We're actually given a chance to survive this. We are actually being kept at home so that we don't get the virus. It's to minimize the chances of like the whole world getting the virus. So being stuck at home is just not the word to use. You can say you are at home, and I'm gonna give you some of the ways to actually meet up your day-to-day runnings and ways to cope at home. So it won't, as I said, it won't work the same for everyone, but it should actually help most people cope under these stressful and unprecedented times, right? So right now I'm actually gonna be talking and sharing on the symptoms that are actually more visible, and you would be also able to pick it up without even having a professional do it for you, and we'll take it from there. Right, it is important to actually say and state that it is cabin fever is not a psychological disorder, right? But most professionals, we actually know that the symptoms is very real, so you might experience symptoms and you go to your therapist and you talk about it. They'll understand that your symptoms are very valid and you are experiencing them. However, we do not have a term and we do not treat them. We don't have a set treatment for it. So basically it will be different mechanisms for different people. However, it's very valid. So you are not seeing things, you are really experiencing. Okay, so I'm moving on along to the actual symptoms, right? You're gonna see me looking away. That's because there was just so much to remember and I don't want it to feel like I'm being scripted or anything. So I'll just give you the symptoms. I'm going to read them out, and some of them I'll elaborate more on them. Others I'll just skip. Okay. So the symptoms are that you might notice on yourself or your family member or your kids, if you have kids, or your partner or whomever you're around, or yourself. You might just pick these symptoms, right? So you'll find that you are finding yourself restless, right? You don't know what to do. You don't know what to work on and what to leave out. You just don't know how to plan out your day. You also find that you probably be more impatient around this time. You won't be able to find yourself being able to tolerate a lot of things. You feel very agitated. You also feel like your mood is dropping. You feel like you're not in a mood to do anything. Some people actually sleep the whole day, and which is a problem. I'll explain later why. You're kind of like changing your sleeping patterns, which is going to be a problem when we go back to our real lives. So you also find that you are not highly motivated. You're very low motivated. You can't seem to work, or your creative juices are just not coming out right. You also have cognitive issues, such as you have problems like concentrating. Even when you're watching a movie, you feel like you just can't watch it for long. If you find yourself having to work at home, you also can't work for long periods of time. You also have food cravings. So with the food part, it's actually linked to our weight. So you find that some people are eating a lot around these times and they're gaining a lot, and some people are just not eating enough because when they stress they don't eat. Some people, when they stress, they eat a lot. So it varies from person to person, and you are unable to handle stress. So things that you would have you find easy to handle, nowadays you find it very hard to handle. It's just because of what we're going through, and you find yourself being anxious for no reason and going through a lot of stress for no reason. And so let me tell you what to do. Okay, so I've actually been going through a lot on COVID-19 and all of us being cooked up, and I came across some things that are actually working for me, and they actually include things like for day-to-day functioning. Well, you could always what I found working is you eat and you sleep at normal times as if you are still going to work. That will actually help with your body and how it's gonna function even after we have to go to work as per normal. Shower, guys, shower. Like come out of your sleepwear. Don't wear it the whole day. bath, put makeup if you want to. When you go into the shop to get your essentials, look good, feel good. When you look good, you feel good. And also avoid long naps in the afternoon. Instead of like taking your nap, if you are working, I'll suggest you probably take a walk, or you read something quickly that you can read in a short space of time, or you actually talk to whomever that is in your house, or you make a call to people that you are actually missing during these times. Okay, so for people that are actually working at home, I'll tell you what works. For example, you really need to have a schedule. You really, really need to have a schedule. If you're working from home, it is hard to get it's so easy to get distracted. It is so hard to actually focus and concentrate. We have so many distractions. So that's why it's so easy to just like find yourself lost in the whole day. So it will be good to actually set clear times for work and for break. Time yourself. Know that you need a break now and you need a coffee break right now. And that will really, really work in your favor, even if when you have to reboot yourself and go back to the normal cycle of life. When you're taking your breaks, it's important that you do not like go and watch the news, because of late news is leaving us all very depressed because of what we are currently going through and finding out each time. Don't watch TV when you're taking your break. Just go outside, go for a walk, make that call, as I said, to people that you are missing, and do anything but not get yourself in something that you have to really focus, because it's a break, so you have fun in your break, right? And so for your mental well-being whilst we are still quarantined at home, it is good to actually, these are some of the points that actually works for me and my family. First one will be stay close to trusted friends. Stay close to people that you trust. So that includes chatting, that includes calling, that includes conversations with people that you trust. It will help. It will calm you. We're talking about, this is just for your mental well-being, right? So you also keep a log of activities and tasks to be completed in a day. As I say, it's back to having a strict schedule of what you. Okay guys, so I've made a list of things that you can do for your mental well-being, and I'm gonna read them out to you. So for your mental well-being, it always helps to stay close to your trusted friends or family members. It helps to calm you down. You don't have to, it doesn't give you anxiety. So it could be your friends, it could be your family members, it could be your lover, it could be your partner, it could be whoever. And also keep a log of activities or tasks to be accomplished in a day. As I say, have that mini checklist where you actually check and see if you are working towards your goals or you are slacking or whatever. Adjust accordingly. Also name something that you are grateful for when you start your day. I always start my day with a mini I would say meditation per se, but I pray a lot. So I'll start with my prayer, I'll speak to God, and I will always end it with a grateful heart. So I'll say what I'm grateful for, and it automatically makes me happy for some reason. Every time I'm so grateful for everything I have, it always leaves me feeling good. So hopefully it works for you too. And also take a minute break every day. So during the day, make sure you take like a 2-minute break for yourself, where you'll be away from your family or your kids if you have kids, and you just breathe in and out for 2 minutes, and you take your mind away from where you're at and from the situation that we are going through, and you just pray on it. And it's not like a prayer, but okay, you could possibly take your mind by thinking of imagining yourself somewhere far, somewhere where you're having fun and you are at peace. So it will be good to not overthink. So you just let your mind go wherever it wants to go, but in a positive space. You don't take yourself into a negative space, right? Okay, so now for social and recreation, I found it very interesting and very good that you engage with your family. So you, if you used to eating alone, then it might be good that you actually start eating together, and you find things to that will make you guys do stuff together, like board games. You play games together, you eat together, you find little DIY projects to do together, and it actually helps you bond with your family and have a good time. And also set aside time to make calls for your extended families. Call them, check up on them, make sure that they're okay, and they're what also keeps us exciting in my family is that, like, once or twice a week, what we'll do is we'll have takeouts. So it gives us something to look forward to. We get excited, we black, we love food. So we get excited, so we get to eat, and we look forward to, like, okay, so what are we gonna order next, so you could also do that with your family, where you set aside one day or two, if you can push it, and then you get your takeouts and you eat together, and it's so much fun. And you guys get to reminisce about the past, and you get to share how you guys are feeling about this whole corona virus pandemic. And you also could take up a hobby, a new hobby, play an instrument, dance, watch fitness videos and workouts for the next day. And it's so exciting. You can always do so much. Online, be very careful of the content that you consume, because it's not everything that will give you a good feeling after watching it. So be very selective of what you watch and what you don't watch. Also, just breathe. Take time to just breathe. Take it all in and exhale out. Just try and not focus on what is going on all the time, because that's what gives us anxiety, and then from there it will give us depression, and from there we just don't know how to cope anymore. And when you are actually depressed, you tend to turn every small thing into a big deal. So you're unable to visualize or see things as they are. You tend to exaggerate everything around you. So even your feelings are exaggerated, especially feeling of not feeling good. The negative feelings get exaggerated. So you tend to do that, so which is not good for you, and you need to stop. Okay, so guys, I hope I was very helpful. I'm gonna try and make my videos shorter. It's just that I wanted to share as much as I could, because it helped me, and hopefully it's gonna help someone else out there. And don't forget, guys, as we're moving to level 3, we are still under this pandemic. The numbers are gradually growing. If you go online and check the numbers, they're very scary. And it will help if you stay at home. If you don't have to go out there, wear your mask, your PPEs, take precautions for all of us. Your health is my health, so please take care of yourself.